accept nothing less than stylish domination. Here's your look at the McFarlane toys. This is Fortnite's Skully. Skully is a rare outfit in Fortnite Battle Royale that can be bought at the item shop for 1,200 V-Bucks. This outfit first appeared in Season 7. First thing we're going to do is figure out how tall Skully stands. I've just decided to put her on a display stand because why not? Why not? While I'm also doing this, I'd like to send a big thank you to the folks over at McFarlane Toys who were nice enough to send this sample my way. Of course, not including the stand, that would be silly, but I guess if you wanted to include the stand. Nonetheless, though, the figure on its own stands 7.2 inches in height, and that's without the stand. In centimeters, that works out to be 18.5 or 18.5 centimeters tall. Actually, to be frank, changing names right now. To be frank, though, the reasoning why I did actually keep Skully on her stand was because, truthfully, Vendetta stands better on his stand. So I just thought it would make more sense for size comparisons. If you wanted to see the figures side to side, left to right, you can see how much taller Vendetta stands to the Skully that we're going to be having a look at. I mean, nothing's really telling you have to keep her on the display stand just to show you that she does stand perfectly fine on her own. And let's have a look at the display stand that comes included with the figure. Still kind of looks like a somber face, doesn't it? 2 eyes and just a straight line for Fortnite. I do love the fact that all of these figures McFarlane toys are putting out all include their own corresponding display stand, with a calling card telling you exactly which series the figure is based from. I like also the fact that the Fortnite isn't just printed on, but they've actually gone in there and etched it into the surface of the plastic. You can see right there what a nice little sheen happening. Nice texturing also done to the black, so it's not simply just smooth black plastic. But she does come with a display stand. All the Fortnite figures have, of course, come with a display stand. Other accessories that come included with the figure, right there, she does come included with her Skully satchel. Satchel is not a word I use too frequently in reviews, nor do I use frequently the term satchel in everyday life. I should probably start finding the means to incorporate that. Satchel. The satchel itself is done sort of in a pink pearlesque color. It's got a really interesting color that would be very hard for me to describe it, other than a pearl color with a slight little droplet of pink. You can see the zipper running down the side, well, along the top, down the side here. And you can see also it has the little skull motif with the rainbow effect down on the sides. It's a small little trinket. You'll probably see that it has a very obvious peg on the back. Probably can know where this is going to go. If you look on the back of the figure, yes, in fact, Skully does have a little hole right there. We just line everything up and we fit the satchel in place. While you're doing this, though, you might want to just move the bandana out of the way, just so things don't get too close for comfort, and you can display the figure with that. Other accessories that come included with the figure, when we have a look at this one next, she comes with the Burst submachine gun, a small, portable, yet devastating firearm. You can see it's been painted all in white plastic, or it might have actually even been cast in white plastic, and only the semi-gloss or gloss black has been applied to it. The gun does fit into her hand. We'll go ahead and do that right now as well. Just fit that into her hand. It does have a really large handle, though, so it doesn't go in immediately, but, you know, just kind of work its way, nudge its way in there, and you can get the firearm into her hand. Now, this one here, this hand on this side has a trigger finger, but if you look on this side, this hand's doing the exact same thing. It's not telling you specifically that it has to be on this one side. For all intents and purposes, you could put it on this side as well if you want. And we'll just put, again, the figure down. Don't worry, we'll revisit the figure yet again, because she does also come included with the Skully Splitter harvesting tool, this large axe-like weapon which still has that continued rainbow motif that finds quite several different locations on the figure, and of course on the satchel on the back. I'm using the term satchel again. And you've got that same familiar skull down below in a slight droplet of a pearl-esque color. I really like the fact that they do give you all the necessary accessories for these figures. Just giving you one may be fine and good, but to give us a couple of them, that's perfectly fine for me. So we can go also ahead and put that into her hand. Excess, some might say. You don't necessarily have to put all the weapons in her hand, but you know, why not? We're just going to pry the fingers away, motivate them to move their way, and then we can just fit the harvesting tool into her hand. And that is Skully, fully armored up, ready to go. And with the satchel on the back. Satchel. We're going to go ahead and move the display stand out of the way. We're going to go ahead and take all of the previously mentioned accessories out of her hand. Don't worry, I'm sure we'll revisit those again in final looks. Ooh, something to look forward to, yes. As for the figure itself, Skully is a nice representation of how it appears, this skin appears in Fortnite. I really do think the face is really quite pretty. The airbrushing that they've done on the hair itself, going from the orange to the lighter yellow just before you hit bandana country, is all really a nice look. The face is also very clean. The skin tone, a nice choice that they went with. It feels vibrant and feels like it's got the same color richment. Color richment. No, that's not somebody that lives down the street. Color richment is the color vibrancy that's been pulled from the game. It has color richment. It's not even a word. One thing that you'll notice on the top of her bandana is the little glittered star effect. I would have been disappointed if they had left that off. It's a little tiny star saying, "Hi, how are you?" Also on the side is a sheath with a knife. No, it's not removable, but it's been sculpted in place there. I'm really happy again with how the face looks. The coloring, again, for the rest of the body has what? Color richment. So many people down below are going to say that's not even a word. I know it's not a word. We can make up words as we go along. The coloring of the body is sort of a teal color, which at the time when I was growing up, teal was sort of where it was at for me. You don't see teal make too many appearances after the fact. It's sort of a combination of greens and blues. In a way, it sort of blends in with the background that I have. Teal was where it was at for me. I remember vividly having a teal t-shirt. Information I'm sure none of you really care about. The point I was going to make, though, is I love teal. Maybe back then. I don't really know what color this would be. Is that mauve? It's sort of the coloring of wine. Or maybe a dark, rich wine color. Again, you've got this nice combination of the mauve, the teal, and some nice striping down the sides of the leg with that rainbow motif of the pink, slightly a varied shade of the teal, and a nice gold color. With, as you can see, hopefully the camera can pick that up, a little bit of glitter goes a long way. All the way down to the boots. I must say, like, the paint on this one is quite clean. I don't see any issues or anything where the paint has bled from one area to the next. Everything on this is consistently clean. It doesn't have, of course, the cool effect that perhaps like Vendetta had, because I really like the coloring that they put into that figure. But this one really has a lot of happy colors coming together. And like I said, the colors are very clean. There's no paint issues whatsoever. It's overall just a good, solid figure of Skully. For her articulation, her head rotates all the way around. Just be mindful, of course. I don't know if you can see it there, but the back of the collar does give you enough clearance that the head moves all the way around. The hair barely brushes against it. In real life, you wouldn't be able to do this to the character because that would snap her neck and kill her, but you can certainly pull that off with this particular figure. She does have the head that moves up and down. It does develop a bit of a gap. You can almost even see, yeah, there it is right there. You can see the gap that's been created by being able to give the luxury of having that additional head positioning. I mean, you're not even going to see it. Who's looking at their figure like this? I ask you. One person does. That person's crazy. But you can move the head up and down. You can rock it back and forth. I kind of go like the rocked, slight angled head to the side. I think it adds just a little bit of charm to this figure. So you can certainly pull that off quite easily. The torso is on a ball joint as well, so you can move it up, you can move it down, you can move it right, you can move it left, left, right. Arms hinge out way past a 90-degree angle. And you can rotate the arms all the way around. She does have that same cup socket that we're seeing with a lot of the McFarlane pieces. Again, I don't know why specifically it's there. I guess it's for the sake of hiding the joint, because if you put the arm down, oh, where'd the joint go? There it is right there. I guess that's one of the main reasonings why it's there. I mean, it doesn't add too much for moving the shoulders forward and back. I mean, as you can see, if you move the shoulders forward and back, it aids a little bit to it, but certainly not enough that I feel like it has to be there. The shoulders, or the biceps, I should say, swivel at the shoulder section of the arm. That has a double hinge on the elbow. You can rotate the hand all the way around. When it gets to the legs split out. And this one leg, for some reason, is locked for me. It probably requires just a little bit of extra force. Not force that I really want to execute on this particular figure. But in theory, the leg would be able to give you a full split. Just on this side, I can't quite pull that off. You can see it's not quite right there. The legs go forward, the legs go back. She has a double hinge on the knee. Nothing in the way of the boots. And the feet also rotate all the way around. They hinge up and down, and you can also rock them back and forth with some much needed toe articulation as well. I must say I do like the look of Skully. It's hard to kind of pinpoint of the two figures we had a look at lately. I'm going to go ahead and put her back on her display stand. Why are we putting her back on the display stand? You guys are all smart viewers, you know by now. It's just so we can bring in, once again, Vendetta, who, again, has some slight issues with rocking, slightly leaning forward, leaning back a little bit. There we go. Of the two figures, I mean, they each bring something different to the table. I really like both of these quite a bit. Are you a fan of Fortnite? Certainly let me know down below in the comment section what you guys think of these particular figures. As if you guys been picking these ones up for yourself, you should be able to now find them at your local comic book store. Skully is a nice looking figure that comes together well for the new Fortnite wave from McFarlane Toys. As I've advocated in the past, I don't feel like you have to know the property inside and out to find appreciation in the characters and figures that are based from that game, that movie, that TV series. If you like the figure, that should be the end of it. Passion from collecting comes from what you see with your eyes, not necessarily knowing the entire backstory behind the character. That's why I feel like a kid who picks up a Batman toy just has as much passion for Batman as an adult who's been reading the comics for decades. It all comes to perspective. Perspective comes in appreciation, the sculpting and the paint that they put into these figures. And from that standpoint, that's where I can find enjoyment from collecting things outside the realm of what I normally get into. That's why I also review so many different things on this channel, because it really boils down to perspective and enjoyment, again, from the figures and not necessarily of the source material. If you like playing Fortnite and you play all hours into the wee hours of the morning playing Fortnite, you might like Skully maybe just a little bit more than the next guy. For a pick up and collect type of figure collector, which I am, and many collectors out there also, can spot a figure like this on the toy shelves and say, that's just a neat looking figure, I'll pick it up and add it to my collection, and that's perfectly fine as well. The beauty of collecting is there's always varying degrees of how much you know about the character. At the end of the day, it's a feast for the eyes. And I think based on that, Skully is a nice looking figure, along with some of the other Fortnite pieces that McFarlane Toys have put out. She's superposable. She has some not much cool accessories that you can display her with, including the satchel. I had to get that in there one last time here in Final Looks. What do you guys think of the new Fortnite Skully figure? Have you played a lot of Fortnite? Or like myself, maybe you're a bit of a casual player, a pickup from time to time and play a little bit. I've played only a few hours, I think, when it's all collective, when you add it all up, maybe a few hours here and there at a friend's house. Other than that, I have not played Fortnite at home, but again, I can really appreciate the figures that they're based from the game, of course. So let me know down below what you guys think of the Fortnite Skully, whether you picked this one up for yourself or based on this review, and this review alone, if you would like to add this one to your collection. Some good news, though, is the McFarlane line of Fortnite figures are mass circulating across various different store shelves, so you should be able to find these now quite readily available. A big thank you as well to the folks over at McFarlane Toys, who are nice enough to send this one, as well as the Vendetta that we had a look at in the previous video. I really like that one also as well. If you are new to this channel, members of the mob, new members of the mob, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Make sure you hit that bell notification, and make sure you stay tuned, because there's going to be a whole lot of reviews coming your way. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.